The front door slammed so hard the windows rattled, and I stood there, clutching our 6-month-old daughter, Lily, as my wife's scream echoed in my skull. I'm not cut out for this. 2 years ago, I walked out of our crumbling marriage with a diaper bag and a heart full of shrapnel. By the time I reached my best friend Tom's doorstep, I was a man drowning in the wreckage of a life I thought I'd built. Lily was crying, her tiny fists balled up like she could fight the chaos we just fled. Tom opened the door, took one look at my face, and didn't ask questions. He just grabbed the bag, ushered us inside, and handed me a beer. His wife, Sarah, was already heating a bottle, her eyes soft with understanding. That night, as Lily slept in a borrowed crib, I sat on their couch, staring at the ceiling, wondering how it all went so wrong. My wife, Emma, had been my everything fierce, funny, the kind of woman who could light up a room with a single laugh, but motherhood broke something in her. She'd look at Lily like she was a puzzle she couldn't solve, and every cry seemed to push her further away. When she finally said she didn't want to be a mom, it wasn't a confession, it was a detonation. The next morning, I called a lawyer. Emma didn't fight for custody. She didn't fight for anything. She just signed the papers and vanished, leaving me with a baby, a broken heart, and a million questions I'd never get to ask. Tom and Sarah became my lifeline. Their small house in the suburbs, with its creaky floors and mismatched furniture, became our home. Tom, a burly guy who coached high school football, would come home smelling of grass and sweat, tossing Lily in the air until she squealed. Sarah, a nurse with a knack for knowing when to talk and when to let silence sit, taught me how to braid Lily's hair when it grew long enough. They didn't just give us a place to stay, they gave us a family. Raising Lily was like trying to defuse a bomb while blindfolded. I'd been a graphic designer, used to late nights tweaking fonts, not soothing a teething toddler, but every sleepless night, every diaper change, every time she grabbed my finger and grinned, I fell deeper into this role I never planned for. I'd take her to the park, pushing her stroller past couples who seemed to have it all figured out, and I'd wonder if I was enough. Her laughter was my answer. By her second birthday, she was calling Tom Uncle T and Sarah Auntie S, and I'd started to believe we could make it. I got a better job, saved for a place of our own, and life felt like it was stitching itself back together. Then 2 years to the day after I left, Emma showed up. It was a Saturday, the kind where the air smells like rain and the world feels too quiet. Lily was napping, and I was in Tom's backyard, sipping coffee, when I heard the doorbell. Sarah answered it, and I caught her sharp intake of breath from across the house. I walked inside, and there she was, Emma, standing in the living room, looking like a ghost who'd forgotten how to haunt. Her hair was shorter, her face thinner, but those green eyes still cut through me like they always had. She was holding a stuffed bunny, the kind Lily loved, and her hands were trembling. "I'm back," she said, her voice barely above a whisper. "I want to see her." I wanted to scream. I wanted to throw her out. I wanted to ask why she thought she could just walk back into our lives after 2 years of silence. Instead, I just stood there, my coffee mug burning my hand, while Sarah hovered nearby, her face a mask of caution. Tom appeared in the doorway, his jaw tight, and I knew he was ready to back whatever play I made. But Lily was upstairs, and she was all that mattered. I set the mug down and crossed my arms. "Why now?" I asked. Emma's eyes filled with tears, but she didn't look away. She told me she'd been lost, spiraling into a darkness she couldn't name. Postpartum depression, she called it, though she hadn't known the term back then. She'd spent the last 2 years in therapy, piecing herself back together, learning to live with the guilt of leaving us. She said she wasn't here to take Lily away, just to be part of her life again. "I know I don't deserve it," she said, "but I'm her mom." That word mom hit like a punch. I'd spent 2 years being everything to Lily, and now Emma was claiming a title she'd walked away from. I told her to wait outside and close the door, my hands shaking. Tom and Sarah sat me down, and we talked it through. Sarah, ever the voice of reason, said Lily deserved to know her mother. but only if Emma could prove she was stable. Tom was blunter. She bailed, man. You don't owe her anything. But it wasn't about what I owed Emma. It was about what I owed Lily. I let Emma come back the next day. She sat on the floor with Lily, who was shy at first, clutching her favorite dinosaur toy. Emma was patient, her voice soft, her movements careful, like she was handling something fragile. Over the next few weeks, she visited regularly, always under my watchful eye. Lily started to warm to her, laughing at her silly faces, letting her read bedtime stories. I hated how natural it looked. I hated how it made me feel like I was losing something. But I also saw the way Lily's eyes lit up, and I couldn't deny her that. The tension grew. Emma wanted more time, more connection. I wanted guarantees she wouldn't disappear again. We argued in hushed tones after Lily went to bed, our old wounds bleeding through every word. She said she'd changed, but I couldn't trust it. One night, she broke down, sobbing, and told me she'd spent nights staring at Lily's old baby photos, hating herself for what she'd done. "I'm not asking you to forgive me," she said. "I'm asking you to let me try." I didn't have an answer. I just walked away, my chest tight with anger and something I didn't want to name. Tom and Sarah were my anchors, but even they couldn't agree. Sarah thought Emma deserved a chance to rebuild, to heal what she'd broken. Tom wasn't so sure he'd seen me at my lowest, and he didn't trust Emma not to drag us back there. I was torn between protecting Lily and giving her the mother she deserved. Every decision felt like a betrayal of someone: Lily, Emma, or myself. Months passed, and Emma kept showing up. She got a job, rented a small apartment nearby, and started taking Lily to the park on weekends. I watched them like a hawk, but I couldn't ignore how Lily ran to her, how she started calling her mommy in a voice that broke my heart. I started to see glimpses of the Emma I'd loved, the one who could make anyone laugh, who noticed the smallest details, who cared so fiercely it scared her. But I also saw the woman who'd left us, and I couldn't unsee it. One evening, as I tucked Lily into bed, she asked, "Is mommy staying forever?" I froze. I didn't know the answer. I told her I'd always be here, no matter what. But her question haunted me. That night, I sat down with Emma at Tom's kitchen table. No yelling, no accusations, just two tired people trying to figure out what was right. She admitted she'd never be the perfect mom, but she wanted to try, every day for Lily. I told her I couldn't let her hurt our daughter again. She nodded, tears streaming down her face, and promised she'd keep proving herself. We set boundaries, shared custody, slow steps, therapy for both of us. It wasn't perfect, but it was honest. Lily deserved a chance to have both parents, and I had to believe Emma could be the mother she hadn't been before. Some days, I still felt the sting of her absence, the weight of those 2 years alone. But I also saw the way Lily's face lit up when Emma braided her hair, and I knew I couldn't take that away. Life moved forward, messy and imperfect. Tom and Sarah threw Lily a third birthday party, and Emma helped decorate, her hands steady as she hung streamers. We were a strange patchwork family: me, Emma, Lily, Tom, and Sarah, bound by love and scars. I didn't know if I'd ever fully forgive Emma, but I was learning to let go of the anger. For Lily, for myself. What do you think? Was I right to give Emma another chance? Or should I have protected Lily by keeping her away? Share your thoughts. I'm still figuring this out.